right. Well, welcome to the first episode of Beyond the Ride. We're here today with Joe Jones, Administrator Extraordinaire at Wellbridge of Pinckney. How are we doing today, Joe?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
You know, Joe's dream has always been to be on a podcast, so we're glad we can satisfy a happy customer. Today on Beyond the Ride, we're going to be talking about the Wellbridge brand, what it means to build trust in healthcare, what skilled nursing facilities value in their partners, and how technology, including AI, may shape the future of care. Ready, Joe?
Let's go.
All right, love it. All right, so Joe, you've been at Pinckney for a while. Tell me a little about your history at the company, where you've started, where you've been, what you know.
Originally in 2009, I started out as a senior at Southline Senior Care and Rehab, but I felt like there was more I could do. You know, I could change the world.
Bold, change the world, bold. I love it.
Very bold. I was young, you know, but either way, I decided to go to school for HR, and then my administrator at the time, Kevin, he said, "Why don't you try being an administrator?" And he said, "Why you could do more as an administrator, and I feel like you'd do really good at that, you know."
Fair.
I did pretty well.
Pretty well.
So then I went from South Lyon to West Oaks,
okay,
and then to Oak Point, and then I've been here for 3.5 glorious years.
3.5 years. And your entire professional career in skilled nursing is at Wellbridge?
Yes, well, Next Care Wellbridge.
Love that. And so were you a participant in their edit program?
Yes, sir. I when they first coined the phrase edit, I was at West Oaks as one of the inaugural edits. That's
after they changed the name from Joe Jones. Joe Jones to the edit program. They're like, this guy's the model of what we're going to do here. So that's great. So one thing that we know about the Wellbridge brand is you guys are all about the customer experience. You're all about a concierge level of care for not only your residents, but your family. And you guys kind of have an acronym to describe it, right? What is that acronym?
EPIC. And it all starts with, I believe, I would like to say the philosophy and everything comes from Mike Perry, our CEO, who does a great job with customer service. I see when he comes here, he interacts with everybody, does it perfect. And you want to like more of a feeling like you're in a 5-star hotel, or, you know, like unless like you're in a nursing home. They want people to feel welcome. They want a great experience. And Wellbridge brings that to you.
100%. I mean, like when you walk through the building, you see the name tags and the Starbucks and the salon and the beautiful gym. Like, you know, like I immediately said, if I had to put my loved one into a facility, I would feel great bringing them here. And like, you know, I think that's what I've heard is exactly what Mike's trying to capture and his entire team. And not unlike you, though, Mike kind of like went through every department of skilled care before arriving, you know, in a leadership desk. Is that right?
Correct. I believe he started at Chelsea CRC as a dietary aide, and then started his career from that. So I feel like for me as well, it helped me get an idea of every point of how the employee feels, and then you get to see the resident and guest at every aspect as well, and it kind of helps you overlook and get a better feeling how to give the best care.
Yeah, and I think something just happened in terms of like your survey window or something.
Oh yeah, we achieved the first zero citation survey in Wellbridge history.
Zero. So like if I'm listening to Beyond the Ride for the first time, like just dive into what that means, what the process is, what survey looks like, and you know, to a listener, how many times does a building go through without zero citations?
It's a very rare occurrence. So in the 13-year history, nobody ever achieved that. And the last building to get that was Schnepp about 2.5, 3 years ago. So it's something that's hard to come by. And what they do is the surveyors come in, they do an annual, which is between 9 months and 15 months of your last one. And then they essentially dig deep and they check everything from, they do interviews with the families, the residents, guests. They do observations. They dig deep into your into all of your clinical files, and they decide based on the regulations that they have in Laura. if you get cited that you went against them, you didn't fulfill the regulations. So this year they decided we were up to code more or less, and they gave us 0 citations.
That's amazing. So like, what happens next? Like, I'm a building, I get 0 citations. Like, what is the result, and why is it important that I work towards like a 0 citation report for a survey?
Everything has to do, essentially, you want to give the best care possible. And you want, obviously, for business wise, marketing wise, it helps you in that the CMS has stars. So the more stars you get, the more you achieve, the more people that want to come and see you.
And so I think like everyone who's listening is probably familiar with like the hotel star rating. So
yes.
Kind of tell us like from where you start pre-survey to where you get today. Like, what is the difference? So our listeners kind of like can have.
Oh, so we started out as 2 stars. Which is not well.
We know everyone on the knows like 2 out of 5. Not
good. Not good. And a lot of that has to do with like back during COVID time, a lot of people had agencies, and like when you hire somebody that's not used to the way your company runs and somebody that's not invested, they're not going to give the best care possible. So back in 2023 is which the survey stars go back 3 years. So in 2023 we got a lot of complaint surveys.
Okay.
And
probably before Joe's time, right?
Correct. And after that we've kind of meshed as a team. We've gotten different managers, and we've been able to stay consistent with the same team for about the last 2.5 years, and we have a wonderful DON now who's been with us since as the DON since January, and we've kind of meshed well and worked together as a team. That's the biggest thing. It's with any team, the more they say the best offensive lines, it's people that are together for a couple of years and they get the mesh and they know each other's moves.
Obviously, Joe's trying to shout out his time was it all region, all state?
Oh, yeah, it was like all area.
All area, sorry. That's why the football reference got in there, guys. So I wanted to know. But, okay, so like building team culture, right? And like you talked about consistency of care, which, makes sense to me. Like you have the same caretakers, they know the residents, they know the family. It's a better outcome. Like, what are you doing as a leader of an organization to create that type of environment for your team? How do you show up every day for them, and how do you like extend the trust that allows them to show up every day for you?
The biggest thing is you have to be upfront of what your expectations are. And we, as Mike Perry always says, it's the basics, right? You have to stick to the basics. You keep it simple. You repeat your job every day. You have to do the same thing day in and day out, and that becomes routine. And then you have to educate people so they do the same thing day in and day out. It takes a while, but once it hits, the results speak for itself.
And so like in that process, like, I think everyone's gone through who's like a leader, like goes off and hires someone who's like, I think this person's going to be successful.
Correct.
And not always is that the case. So like, how do you as a manager provide opportunity for people to improve? How do you coach people to improve? How do you get involved in their day-to-day to make them better for the organization?
Well, you have to be, I think the biggest thing for us is communication, right? So it's easier to over-communicate than under-communicate. So you have to let them know, instant feedback, know how they're doing, know what they can do to improve. If you see something, an opportunity in real time, you can correct that opportunity. But if you see them doing something great in real time, that's also good as well, because people need to be pumped up, right?
100%.
So I feel like a lot of times there's too much negativity, and we like to breed positivity here at the Wellbridge of Pinckney.
Wellbridge of Pinckney. So, but as someone who's like been in a SNF, worked in a SNF, it can be difficult, right? Like we are doing everything we can to provide excellent care to our families and their residents, and just it can be exhausting. And I have to imagine that almost daily you're coming to people who want to break down on their attitude, right? Who want to fall into the negative. So like, how do you embrace that and redirect that energy for improvement and positive energy? And, how how does that dictate your management style across the board?
I think the biggest thing is is leading by example yourself. So if you're always positive, because nobody wants to work in an environment where someone's always like, man, this is awful, we're terrible, this building's awful, right? So you always have to be positive yourself, right? And no matter what you're having going on the outside, the people here need your care. They, for lack of a better word, no one cares what's going on in your life, right? For me personally, I always care what's going on in your life.
No, I know. It's
But
most caring guy at Title Wellbridge Network right here.
yeah,
People
that's
talk
right.
about it.
That's what I'm saying. But anyways, with that being said, that you have to like lead as a leader, you have to lead by example, and you have to like whatever feelings, whatever you have going on, you have to shove that down inside, and you have to be the best you can be, right?
Deep down. Well, I mean, like you have to have support network in this organization, right?
Correct.
Like, who are the people in this company that you're able to lean on?
If I ever have anything going on, I have Heather Perry, I have Max, Joe, and Mike, and they've been a great support team for me through this whole period. And Heather's more like kind of like a work mom, more or less,
Nice,
you know.
yeah.
And and with that being said, they've been great role models and great mentors to lead on whenever anything goes on. If there's something I've never seen before, there's chances that one of them, there's probably combined 90 years of experience in there, which is good, which is good for me.
Wow.
So you're able to lean on that, and you can use that, you know, when the road gets tough.
Yeah, and so, you know, Mike, to my understanding, is the CEO of 4,400 employees, 28 buildings across the state. And so it's a great example that he makes himself available to everyone and anyone who needs his assistance. How have you like kind of taken that approach in your own management style to make yourself accessible to your staff? And how many staff do you have here at Wellbridge of Pinckney?
We have 150 staff. So during the orientation process, I give everybody my cell phone number, and I let them know if they have any issues that come up, they can talk to me and reach out. Then I always follow up with them throughout after the orientation process. Sorry, I follow up with them, and then weekly after that, and then monthly. But I always try to let them know I'm not much of a sleeper, and which. When I do sleep, I sleep hard. But anyways, with that being said, they can contact me anytime, no matter what. And I just always go out of my way to greet them, talk to them, let them know ask them what's going on, and just be there for them more or less.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's so interesting. You just said, like, you know, no one cares, but clearly you care a lot about your staff. And, you know, you've been here for 3.5 years. How many people do you have here that you've been able to lean on since day one that have stayed with you today?
My first hire was Kendall, who came a month afterwards, and that's our care transition coordinator. And ever since then, we've had Beth in HR has been here for 2 years, and everybody else has about the 2-year mark, and then I can lean on any of them for anything. We have Jamie and Alicia; those are our OGs.
Okay.
And but we're very lucky to have a great caring team with tons of experience. We have a great mixture of what you would say rookies and veterans, right? People like Jules and Kendall, who are younger, and then people like myself, Jamie, and she's over there, but and Beth, who've been around a little longer.
Okay.
We kind of can mesh everything together and make a great team. You know, like they have the newer ideas. We have stuff that we've seen and experienced. You know,
and like so, you know, it's funny you mentioned that because when you walk around the facility, like it does seem like there's a clear 2 generations inside of the facility, right? Like, you know, seems like there's an old guard of nurses which you alluded to before. I've seen everything and anything under the sun.
correct.
And then you have like all these young individuals who are excited to be care providers, to do something that actually adds value to the people they're serving, and, you know, is fulfilling. how are you able to manage, both sides of that world, like an older guard that is kind of set in their ways versus like a new, innovative, to take the eye from Epic, team that's always looking to improve the product and the service and the experience?
I think it all just always boils down to like being able to listen to people and communicate with them, right? You just have to always communicate what your expectations are and what your ideas are, and you have to be able to listen and understand where they're coming from, and then you kind of mesh everything together.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
No, it's a great, I mean, like, been in a lot of buildings across the state. It's very clear right away that this building has like a unique energy. People are smiling, people are happy, residents are involved. I mean, like, we were just able to host an amazing event for them outside, getting residents wet. It's 100 degrees here in Michigan, and everyone wants to participate with it, and it seems like a pretty special place, to be honest with you. So transitioning to now talking about like your residents and your family, right? Like, what is important to set as an expectation for your residents on their experience here?
You let them know when they first submit that what to expect, what the facility is like, what the rehab process is like, that we're going to give them the best Epic experience we can give them. And that we do follow-ups when they first come in, and then after that, I try to follow up with them every day, just so they can know if anything comes up, how we can switch it up, and what process we can change and improve, what they enjoy. We try to kind of get like a profile on them, more or less.
Yeah, I mean, like, back to the original point, like, you're curating a customer experience,
Exactly.
a service experience. The same way you go to a hotel and they're like, oh, I know Joe loves Diet Coke, or you Diet
Correct.
Coke guy.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Nice.
And anything that's sweet or sugary.
Okay, so for all the salespeople that are listening to the call, you want to come in, sell a little service to Wellbridge of Pinckney,
That's right.
don't show up with salt or Pepsi.
Enjoy it.
So, like, not every resident is going to be satisfied with their care, right? Like,
Correct.
Four Seasons, Ritz-Carlton, they have disgruntled guests all the time. How do you manage that, like, in terms of your own expectations, and how do you like continue to work with that resident and not like throwing the towel on their service experience?
Correct. I feel like we have a great management team, from our nurse managers to our therapy team, our therapy manager, to our care transition / social work team, that they do a great job and just kind of listening on what's going on. Sometimes people just need someone to sit with them and talk with them for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and just hear them out. And then we do our best to pivot things, try to make the experience better, and try to improve on that. And if people know that you're listening and you're willing to change and help them, that's going to make the experience improve anyways. And they're going to more or less forgive you from your shortcomings at the beginning.
Yeah, 100%. And, it seems that there's almost like an irony that, like, the resident's family is sometimes a harder relationship to satisfy than the resident themselves.
Yeah.
And so, like, in that circumstance, like, what are you doing to, make sure that a family whose loved one is in your care is getting the attention they need to feel confident in the care you're providing?
Yeah, we do with everything, we feel like over communicating is better. So we do have regular phone calls with them. Our nurse management's reaching out to them. Other people on our leadership's reaching out to them. And they do weekly calls with them. And then our care transitions, they do a great job of messaging, talking with them day in and day out. Our day in and day out process that makes things so they are informed and they don't feel like they're in the dark. And then, if you have a daughter that lives in Kentucky, or you have a daughter in California, they might feel a little helpless that they can't help you with their care. So we try to do the best to make them feel like they're here.
Yeah. And, I think that's cool. And, it kind of brings up like a really tragic result of like how the system works today. Obviously nothing that we're doing, but, how do you make someone feel like family when their family is so far away? How do you I can think of a certain resident of your building who is an amazing woman who, actually, ironically, this isn't her first dab into social media at Wellbridge of Pinckney. I was able to go on a trip with, what was that influencer's name?
Zach.
The MD Motivator.
Yeah, MD Motivator.
Yeah, and so she went courtside to the Pistons game or whatever, and like, how do you continue, because you've been doing this for 3.5 years, how do you bring that energy every day to make something special happen for a resident?
It comes easy because when you see their faces, they're great people. They all have great stories. I mean, we have people as young as in their 40s. We have people as old as in their early hundreds. They're just great people to dialogue with. They're great people to just be around. So it comes very easy. We're very blessed to have wonderful staff. We're very blessed to have wonderful residents. So it's pretty easy. It's as easy as me opening up a candy bar and eating. It, which is easy.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, yeah, I mean, like, it's really apparent to me that like you love what you do, which I'm sure makes it easier to
Yes.
And this is a family career, right? Not only just skilled nursing, but Wellbridge in particular, right?
Yes. My wife, who is a wonderful admissions coordinator.
The best.
Yes, very.
Making sure you go home and you're safe.
Yeah. She's very good. She's very hardworking. She also started out as a CNA, and she's only worked for NextCare, Wellbridge, and she's been with them for 14 years.
Wow.
And she became, she went from a CNA to like a scheduler to now a admissions coordinator.
And so this was really like a skilled nursing facility romance that every little kid dreams of, right?
The smartest, most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
Yeah, I may have talked to Joe about this 100 times. He said, when I was a little kid, all I dreamed about was working at a skilled nursing facility and finding my wife there.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, so what, you just mentioned that residents are getting younger. Which I think is like pretty surprising to a lot of the listeners. Like, well, there's a 40-year-old in a skilled nursing facility. So like, when people hear skilled nursing, like what they usually think of is a nursing home. And so like, what is the difference between skilled nursing care and what like, like to quote an Adam Sandler movie, like what people think like a Happy Gilmore type nursing facility is or a long-term care facility is?
So the difference is like skilled nursing is just somebody that maybe they broke a bone and they need to get healed, somebody that just had a stroke and need to get stronger, somebody that may have to be on antibiotics to get rid of an infection. So they're somewhere which we call short stay. And then that's usually anybody, they would call it, they would be here. The normal stay for us is about like 17 to 20 days. So just kind of quick in and out.
And so that's the normal stay. What's the longest stay you've had as a resident?
I believe we've had people here probably in my career. I've had people about that have been at the facility 22 years.
22 years?
Yes.
Wow. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. And then that's when you have a great chance to provide epic care.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, 22 years and they still want to hang out with you. That's pretty impressive.
Yes,
I
yes.
think 22 years and I'd be like, hey, you got to get me out of here.
That's what I'm saying.
So it wouldn't be a podcast if we didn't talk about the future of AI and tech in skilled nursing care, right?
Correct.
I mean, it's the buzzword that we're going to need to get to the top of the chart. So,
Right.
Yeah. So where do you see AI helping you guys? Have you been using AI in any sense? And when you do, like, what has been the outcome in terms of return for you?
AI is very good in a way where if you need to create, like, if you have your data and you create a table really quickly, if you need to help filter out information quickly, AI is very good at that. I mean, you still have to do your due diligence of looking into it and that part, but essentially AI allows you to do your job probably quicker and it gets rid of some of the I guess people would say busy work.
Yeah.
So, and I see AI as being a strong point for us, especially in the nursing aspect way, where it can help us provide more face-to-face with the residents and less computer work.
Yeah. And so,
which
like,
is the most important part.
and I mean, like, obviously, because both of us are so young, Joe.
Correct.
No one questioned that.
No.
But, you know, like skilled nursing for a lot of people, especially some of the nurses we have on staff who have been here for, 20 some 30 years, they remember a world where we didn't even use computers for notes. We didn't even use computers for clinical care. So
Yes.
how fast do you see that change happening? How do you see that change affecting your day to day in terms of like labor numbers and PPD? And then finally, like, what's your bold prediction for what the AI future might look like in healthcare?
I feel like that's going to be something. I mean, AI is used in some portions of our day-to-day stuff when it comes to like admissions and things like that. It's something that's probably like a year or two away. And
Do you really think it's going to go that fast?
yeah, it's progressing very quickly. It feels that way. But either way,
AIEDs?
no one can be as close.
No one
as
could
me.
do your job.
Yeah.
No computer in the world could do
Yeah,
Joe.
that's what I'm
Joe's
saying.
job.
I think when it comes to like nursing care and things like that, I don't think it's really going to take that away.
You don't see a world where like we're maybe using like robotics in the building?
Because no one, I think you leave that emotion. You lose that emotion. You lose that like connection you can get with people, which is very important for the healing process. I
Yeah,
feel.
100%. I mean, there's got to be like thousands of studies that show like
Yeah.
care is not just clinical, it's
Yeah.
emotional too.
Yeah, because I feel like AI is good for data and stuff, but it doesn't do good when it comes to like, when you can talk to somebody, they tell you a story from what happened 30 or 40 years ago.
Yeah, no one
And-
could do what Joe Jones does.
Yes.
Correct, as you would say. So, okay, so AI, how often are you getting approached by providers saying like, hey, we have an AI tool for you, we want you to apply it to your day to day? Or is it really just hearsay and rumors at this point about what's coming on the horizon?
It's more or less hearsay and rumors. I feel like probably on the corporate level, they probably get approached from different things but from my aspect, I really don't get that stuff that flows into me.
But is my understanding that like the Wellbridge mantra is we're going to treat every ED as like a CEO of their own facility.
Correct.
And we're going to give them the autonomy to make decisions on the best interests of their facility. So like, what does that trust, that extension of trust do for you in your day to day and your confidence in your work and anything in between?
It makes you feel confident enough that you can do your job, and that the fact that they have entrusted you and given you confidence to make those type of decisions does a lot for you, and being able to do your job and not feel like you constantly have someone breathing down your neck, for lack of a better term. But we do like to keep our communication circle tight and keep everybody involved when it comes to the important decisions and whatnot. That way, we do have like we said earlier, we have all of that experience we can lead on, so we can get some great ideas on how to handle certain situations. So that's probably the most important part of it all.
Yeah, and we've talked about like, Mike, clearly a leader in the industry, one of the expert opinions in the state of Michigan. But we haven't really talked about Heather, who is also, an award-winning clinician and nationally recognized for her care. So you mentioned a couple of times through the episode, but like, what does it mean to you to have someone like that that's always going to be able to, have the knowledge that you need to level up? Whether, we mentioned Mike and Heather, Joe Carpino to Max. And, I've even seen like, Jim Branscombe, who has now been in the industry for 45 years, make himself available to people who have questions.
Yeah, it's like, you remember back in the day, before the Google, you could ask
The
Jeeves.
Google. Don't let him age. Don't let him age himself, guys. The Google. Joe's young.
You could ask Jeeves, and that's what it feels like. So any issue that pops up, they have encountered it, and they know ways around it or ways to get through it. So I think that's the most important thing.
And it's like probably just like world changing to have like that level of trust with like, your supervisors. So
yeah, and there's been points where like even with Mike or Heather, and you could text or call them and they get back with you right away. And that's super important because you don't get that with every company.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's very obvious to me that Mike and Heather care about the well-being of their residents. And they just like, if that's not a value system for you, if that, it's just not going to work in the organization. Like, to me, that is the foundation of everything that's done at Wellbridge is we care. All our work has to be focused on care.
Yeah.
And if we do a great job of that, the rest will come.
It all starts with customer service.
And that all starts with Joe Jones.
Thank you.
Okay, so, as someone who has like autonomy and ownership over your own building, how are you going out and like picking the vendors that you partner with? And what's the value of a strong vendor?
The value of a strong vendor I see is somebody that that they take their job as serious as we take our job. So when we choose a vendor, and a lot of times it's through people that have been servicing maybe the area or the building or that service other facilities within our company, so we can kind of lean on them and know what's going on. But that's that they're going to be fair with you and then that they're going to do a great job at the end of the day.
Yeah. And I think like there's so many vendors across the state of Michigan in healthcare, right? Like we have a really robust system here.
Correct.
And so like what's the runway you give a vendor when you're getting a new one? Is it short? Is it long? How are you measuring what a good partner is? Because mistakes happen, right? No matter who you're working with.
Correct. Yeah. It's based on like the type of mistake. If the mistake is just something that is normally like something that's going to happen no matter what, if like if it's like a machinery type thing, you can always guess that. But if it's something that's just based on a lack of caring or that's just kind of, it's like, situation on situation.
Yeah. And like, the challenge is kind of because like everything is so transactional in terms of like the service providers you choose, right?
Correct,
like
yeah.
home care providers or transportation or cleaning or whatever, right? Like it's super easy to come in and sell and be like, oh, we're going to add the best value to your company, we're going to whatever. And week 1 is great. Week 2 is great. Week 3 is not so well. Like how do you measure and how are you holding these partners accountable?
It's through a lot of feedback and communication with our residents and our families and how like the home care or how our transportation, like, the care they receive from them and then how the communication is and how everything is. So we get a lot of customer feedback and that's kind of how and then obviously with people like transportation, it's our like, are they showing up on time? Are they getting back to us? Are we getting, our billing? Are we getting that on time? Yeah. Things like that. And that's super important when you're trying to plan your budget and think when you at the end of the day, you are trying to run a business,
Yeah. And like, I can sense that you just want to blurt out your favorite transportation provider.
Eversafe.
Okay. I didn't even think he was going to say that. I can't believe it.
It's not just a ride. It's an experience.
The slogan's actually Safe Ride, Better Care, but I appreciate the secondary marketing.
I make mine own up,
Okay, well, as long as you're valuing the service.
So I would say transportation in particular is kind of an extension of us, right? So when we have somebody that's here long-term or short-term, and our transportation providers taking them out, based on what happens, people tend to view us the way that, so if the driver is rude to the people at the doctor's office, they're going to think of us as rude. Just we're kind of connected in a crazy way. So we have to be very careful who we do team up with transportation-wise. and Eversafe does an amazing job with that.
I appreciate it. Or, we try our best to service you guys. And like for us, like we're just trying to match the brand that you guys have already created, this concierge level of service. It's not just a place to get clinical care. Like you're a resident here and we want you to make you feel at home, and we want your families to feel that they're placing you in a place with dignity. And, so like, I think when we look at the partnership we've been able to create with Wellbridge of Pinckney, like it's nice to have a partner where non-competitively, we're always trying to one-up each other, right? We're always trying to be like, this is the level of service we provide. Our reputation precedes ourselves. In today's world, like visibility is credibility. And so just the ability to service you guys and openly say like, this is our partnership and this is who we affiliate with. Like we hope it's done things for both brands.
I totally agree with you.
Yeah. And so as we like kind of wrap up this episode, right? Like what are you thinking the future in skilled care looks like in America? What do you think the future of technology looks like in participating across like the clinical care landscape? And finally, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I see myself at the wonderful Wellbridge of Pinckney taking care of people and smiling every day.
Every day.
Which is important.
Same staff. No staff turnover.
No turnover.
You hear that, Belinda? There's no staff turnover in 10 years.
No turnover. And then technology-wise, obviously, AI, I mean, it gets to the point where you have no clue how things rapidly...
The only thing you know is that like, they cannot replace the ED role.
Exactly. And with that being said, I'm kind of excited because technology is going to get away, I feel like, where we can do more. We have to do less computer work and more people work, which I feel like that's the best way for healing, as we talked about earlier.
Yeah, I think one thing I've learned about skilled care is like we really have the privilege to come make a difference in people's lives. Mm-hmm. And like, just like the little things we did outside and whatever, like a smile is worth everything. And,
yes.
One of the sad things I've learned about long-term care is that like, and you've mentioned this before, a lot of people are really lonely and a lot of people are having family that's not visiting or not caring. Yeah. And, I can't imagine what it'd be like to be in a skilled facility for long-term and, you invest all this time in your children and loved one. And it's like, hey, can you come visit me? It's like, I'm unavailable.
I agree. And what I always say, it doesn't cost anything to smile.
Yeah. Unless you have to get braces.
Exactly. Shout out to Dad at 15. That was a lot of
money. Thanks, Mr. Jones.
Our 14-year-old, he's got, man, them boys are expensive.
Yeah. Thank God for amazing healthcare coverage here at Wellbridge.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out. Shout out Employee Benefit Logistics, right? Exactly. Best healthcare insurance I've ever seen.
Exactly.
And I think it's awesome that this is an organization that just like top to bottom we're mission oriented. We're always looking to improve, but really the foundation of everything we do is based in care and positivity and making this, just to use the word, an epic experience for the resident.
I couldn't say it better myself.
Yeah. Well, all right. Well, Joe, thank you for our time. And do you want to leave the audience with one more thought, one more sign off?
I appreciate this opportunity for my my epic debut.
Love it. All right. Well, thank you. Oh, yeah. That's the thing. That's going to be our new sign off. The thumbs up. First episode of Beyond the Ride. All right. Thanks, guys, for listening. Bye.